Oh my god, okay. I came as fast as I could. Thank you so much for watching my son. Oh, I'll just put that. Thank you so much for watching him. I was just really busy this day. It's really hard being a single father. No one told me, um, like how much work it was. Um, and I had to go fill out some paperwork at the new primary school. You know, he's quite young, so he hasn't really learnt how to walk or talk yet. So I thought I'd get it out of the way, you know, because I'm busy. So I thought maybe it would help him, you know, get used to society. I know because he's like technically a cat. He doesn't really need to walk or talk, but as you can see, I assimilated into the human race fine, and so you know, I thought we could give it a go. And it's been really hard, you know. I don't know who had this cat with me, and I don't want to be rude, but to be honest, I wish they'd showed up and helped out a little bit because I'm really busy. I've been really busy, guys, and look, I just wanted to say all this to say essentially that I'm really glad that you watched my son for me. It means a lot, and you know, it takes a community to raise a child, and it really means a lot that you were here for me. Um, how is your are we calling him a son? Okay. How's your son? Is he good? Is he studying? That's good. That's good. No, I'm not jealous that your son can read and talk. It's, you know what? We're all born with certain intellectual capacities, and my son he's a little stupid, and that's okay, because it runs in the family. So, anyway, I've got to go. Thank you so much. I'll repay you somehow. I don't know if I can be trusted to watch your son, but I'll give it a fair shot, mate. Um, where is my son? Huh? You lost my son. You know what? He probably just ran off somewhere. He's just he's a weird kid, you know. He's got choices, and that's okay. You know, it's okay. It's not your fault. It's okay. Um, it's okay. Um, I will go look for him. Thank you so much for your help. If you see him, could you just let me know? Cause I do I do sort of want him back. Um, I'm not gonna cry. I'm a single father. I've got to be strong. Okay. But that's fine. Actually, I'll that's fine. Don't worry about it. No, my son is like that. You know, sometimes he has a mind of his own, and he goes on a walk. He goes on a walk. That's okay. Um, I'll let you know if I find him. Yeah, I'll send you a text or something. Um, it's not like we live in a crazy rough neighborhood or anything. Right. What was he doing before he left? Maybe it might get a hint as to where he is. Coco melon. Okay. Um, that's not helpful. No, no, it's not. All right. I guess I'll have to start looking. Thanks, dude. Thanks. Thank you so much. Um, hey guys, welcome to my stream. Has anyone seen my son? Have you seen my son? He's really short, sort of round. Uh, he looks exactly like me. Like it's crazy. Um, have you seen him? Lure him out with a treat. You know what, KK? That's not a bad idea. Hold on, let me see what treats I have. Bread. Dancing pudding. I think it was... Ah, there we go. Yeah, I got it. This will do it. Kids love this stuff. Do I just like shake it? Because I don't think I can shake this glass of wine before it falls off.
Yeah, kitty, kitty, kitty. Yeah, kitty, kitty, kitty. Come back. Come back, kitty. That's right. I'll give you alcohol. I'll give you a whole glass.
I don't think I can spill some. I'm not meowing. That's just, it doesn't run in the family. He might like the smell of wine. We don't know.
Kitty, kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty.
I don't need CPS. I'm a wonderful father. Of one. Stupid fucking cat.
Kitty, kitty, kitty.
He's coming.
Yeah, kitty, kitty. Come here. Kitty, kitty. Come here. Come here. Kitty, kitty, kitty. You want some? Yeah. Have some.
Ooh, he likes it. Look at him. What a good cat. Alright, up you go. What a good cat. We don't need this anymore. Wonderful. Alright. My son's back for a stream. He does sort of cover up the entire chat, but, to be honest, I don't really care. It's my son. What do you mean don't give him that? It's his favorite treat. How do you think he grows up so big and smart? Might put him down here, actually.
There we go. That's my son. That's my son.
Anyway, let's do what we're actually here for. This is gonna surprise you guys. I'm actually not here just to do this shit all day. We are going to be reading some fan fiction. I know. Isn't that so surprising? Isn't this news to everyone here? Me and my son are gonna read some Drarry together. I know. This is like shock and horror. We're gonna read some Drarry together. And then me and my son will find something else to do. I don't know what we're gonna do yet. I'm gonna figure it out later. It's not important what we're gonna do yet. It's gonna be spontaneous. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be whack. Okay? It's gonna be insane. Everyone's gonna be like, wow, that's crazy. And they're gonna be right. They're gonna be right. Whoa! Anyway. I'm gonna turn the music off. And I guess we can play some lo-fi background music. Does it sound like someone's peeing in the background? Lovely. Let's read. We're reading part 2 of The Train Ride by Shri Ripper. If you weren't here for the first part, it's like the second last... No, it's the last video I released, essentially. Because I did not post the Wolverine one yesterday, because I was sleeping. But I'll do it tonight. But, yeah, it is, it's part 2. So if you've not listened to part 1, you can still technically listen to this, but I would recommend it, in order, you know, as is traditionally read. Unless it's a manga, in which case you do read it backwards, but you know, that's still sort of... Anyway, put it up here, so you guys can... There we go. Now, everyone knows what I'm reading, and we can jump straight into it. You know what? I'm actually wearing nails today. I could do ASMR. Hold on. Can you guys hear this? I don't know. What a great day to wear nails. We could get bored and do ASMR after. I have like 5 hours to kill, guys, to be honest. Anyway. The Train Ride by Shri Ripper. Chapter 2. The Coffee Shop. I tried to move the mic while recording. Nah, it's okay, Pillow. I won't be doing Gothic phone today. You can do your shit, man. Go live your life. The Coffee Shop. Thank you for checking in anyway. The man Harry was looking for was sitting with his back to the wall, in one of the more hidden tables at the end of the coffee shop. He was half hidden behind a newspaper, but his hair was unmistakable. Harry rubbed the back of his head. Don't be nervous, don't be nervous. He's a Slytherin. They probably have nerve sensors or whatever, Harry muttered to himself. He took a deep breath, smoothed his green shirt, and walked over. The man was dressed in a white and... The man was dressed in a white buttoned-up, elegant shirt, his hair brushed to the side. A fringe of blonde that wasn't there when Harry saw him on the train was resting on his forehead, almost reaching his grey eyes. He coughed to get the man's attention. Draco Malfoy looked up, and Harry noticed that he was holding 2 newspapers. The outer one had pictures on it that didn't move. The newspaper inside it had pictures that did. Hello, Potter. Hate that. Let's do that again. Hello, Potter. You're welcome to sit. Malfoy gestured at the seat opposite himself. Harry did just that, saying, Hey, Malfoy. It's good that you're hiding the prophet from view, but you're still pretty suspicious. How so, exactly? Harry gestured around them. Muggles mostly don't walk around with newspapers anymore. They have their smartphones. If their phones were so oh, hate that. What the fuck was that? If their phones were so smart, they'd tell the Muggles to carry and read more newspapers. Malfoy reasoned. Harry chuckled, and decided to leave it alone for now. It took way too long to explain the internet to Ron, and he wasn't sure it was even possible with Malfoy. Anything interesting? Harry asked, without true care. He and Ginny split up publicly. Oh, fuck, one more time. He and Ginny split up publicly recently, and the Prophet has been having one long siesta on the air. Fuck. Let's try this again. Without true care. Anything interesting? Harry asked, without true care. He and Ginny split up recently, and the Prophet had been having their one long siesta on their account via article after article. For this reason, he simply ignored them for the past month or so. More like comical, Malfoy drawled. He dropped the paper on the table, closed, so Harry could see the front page. It wasn't about his divorce, for once. Harry nearly choked. McLaggen will lead us to the future. Ugh! Malfoy nodded, as though for him that was the only appropriate reaction. Ugh, indeed, Potter. It looks like someone really loves him at the Prophet. I know exactly who loves him, Harry grumbled, pointing out the name of the reporter on the front page news. Bill Macmillan. I didn't agree to an interview with him after a major mission with the Aurors. He's been insulted ever since. Correct me if I'm wrong, Potter, but isn't Bill Macmillan the head editor of the newspaper? Malfoy said slowly, as though speaking to a toddler. Harry blushed, embarrassed. I didn't say it was my wisest moment. Harry wondered how Hermione will react when she finds out this is technically Harry's fault. Somehow, I'm certain no one would say that. Malfoy left the newspapers on the table in front of, grabbing... Oh, fuck. Malfoy left the newspapers on the table, in favor of grabbing hold of the menu and looking over it. Weren't you friendly with his little cousin, the blown-up Hufflepuff from our year at Hogwarts? Ernie, and he's not... Malfoy gave him a look that made Harry's heart beat just a little faster. All right, he was a bit self-important. He's a real chap now, though. Harry shrugged. What's that got to do with anything? Potter, if I have to explain what having connections means, I'm afraid your situation will remain as dreadful as it is now. Harry looked at Malfoy dead in the eyes from across the table. Thank you for worrying, Malfoy, he said sweetly. As expected, Malfoy looked royally pissed off. Ernie's not the one blown up. Oh. Ernie's not the only one blown up, it seems. He frowned. Hey, don't worry about it. Unlike Ernie, it's cute on you. Harry winked. To Harry's immense pleasure, Malfoy's cheeks grew a bit pinkish. Oh, no. To Harry's immense pleasure, Malfoy's cheeks grew a little pinkish. He was also glaring at Harry, but that was something Harry rather expected. Harry pretended not to be smiling, and grabbed a menu as a ruse. There was a moment of silence. Speaking of your friends, how did Granger and Weasley take the news that you're on a date with me? They didn't, Harry told him, his stomach starting to draw his attention to the menu he was looking over. Haven't told them I take it? Harry carefully put down the menu and looked at Draco Malfoy. He looked casual, but Harry was perceptive enough to realize Malfoy may have taken that as a slight, and was offended. It dawned on Harry it likely sounded like he was ashamed of going out with Malfoy. Gently, Harry told him, "Whether this moves forward beyond one date or not, this thing is just between us. It's new, and I'd like to keep it ours for a little while longer." Harry added, "Sorry, I get selfish like that." Nope, I'm doing that again. Sorry, I get selfish like that. He smiled good-naturedly. In a way, Ginny often jokingly warned him not to aim at anyone except her. Malfoy cleared his throat carefully. Eyes slightly widened. "It's no trouble." Guys, I forgot to text my friend where I'm meeting her up today. Give me a second. Okay. I'm back to reading. I'm back. It's no trouble. Harry, I'm gonna go from here instead. Harry raised an eyebrow. Nope. Harry raised his eyebrow and looked over. He signaled to a waiter who noticed him and hurried over. "Ready to order?" "No, I hate that." "Ready to order?" The young man smiled, in what Harry assumed was a top-tipped waiter smile. "We haven't decided yet. But could we have 2 orders, please?" "Of course, sir." The waiter jotted it down and skipped away to another table, called him over. When he left, Harry turned to Malfoy, who was staring at him like he was Hermione-faced, with indisputable proof that Noggles exist. Oh, I said that sentence a bit wrong. Hold on. He was staring at him like he was Hermione, faced with the indisputable proof that Noggles exist. "All right?" Harry asked him. "Yes," Malfoy said, in a strange voice. "Thanks," he added, nodding towards the waiter. Harry nodded, looking over the menu. "They have quite a big menu for a coffee place. I think I'll probably get a pizza." "I'll get the pumpkin ravioli with mushroom cream," Malfoy said offhandedly. Harry stared at him. "What?" Malfoy inquired, looking back, politely confused. Nothing," Harry said instinctively. Malfoy gave him a slightly annoyed look, clearly disliking not being answered. Harry knew his whole life people have been overlooking the fact that he was very perceptive. Even as an aura, people seemed to find it difficult to remember he was likely observant. Maybe it was the whole boy who lived thing. Maybe it started with the Dursleys, who caused Harry to have an underwhelming personality that often caused people to instinctively feel too comfortable around him, instead of weary or careful. Thinking about it, it probably ended up saving his life on several occasions. still. He was surprised Malfoy was almost obvious about it. No! Okay. Oh, okay. Why? Life is so painful. What is it, Potter? Malfoy said tightly. And Harry looked up, wondering how long he'd been frowning at his menu for Malfoy to actually ask the second time. Harry gave him Harry gave him an apologetic look, knowing he wasn't meant to figure it out. You have a lot of dates here. Malfoy froze, surprised. Not a lot. He seemed embarrassed. It's okay, Harry assured. Fuck off. It's okay, Harry reassured him. Is the pizza good? He asked jokingly. How did you know? Malfoy asked, and Harry thought he sounded genuinely confused. Well, Harry shrugged. Every time you picked up the menu, you never turned it around, which is where the pastas section is. Your eyes also never moved side to side, so at first I thought maybe you were looking over the pictures. Then I realized you didn't need to read it. You were just glossing over the titles, jogging your memory as you did. After a moment, Malfoy said, And you noticed all of that? Yes, Harry said simply, unwilling to feel offended. Malfoy wasn't the only one to assume over the years. It would be stupid to be bothered now. The waiter came back with 2 glasses of water. Ready to order? He smiled widely. Yes, I'll have the pizza, Harry said politely, handing him his menu. The waiter took it and wrote down his order. Any toppings? Can I suggest Bulgarian cheese and tomatoes? Sounds great, Harry smiled. And I'll have the... Malfoy started, drawing the waiter's attention. The pumpkin ravioli, mushroom cream sauce. The waiter smiled like he passed a test. You're a regular, practically. I remember correctly? It was a very awkward moment, as Malfoy closed his eyes, then opened them like a torturer was forcing him to, and said in a clipped voice, Yes. Thank you. The thank you was clearly a dismissal, rather than gratitude. The waiter nodded cheerfully. Your food will arrive shortly. And he left. Harry was almost shaking in his seat. Laughter so loud, people from nearby tables were glancing at them. I should apologize, Malfoy began, face twisted painfully at addressing what happened. Harry waved him off at once. Your expression was Fuck. Your expression was Your expression was priceless, Malfoy, he said, trying to commemorate it in his memory. When Harry calmed down a little, he grinned at him and asked happily, So, how am I doing compared to the other dates you've had here so far? Malfoy rolled his eyes. My stomach's growling! Save me! You've had here so far. Save me! Okay, I had water. Malfoy rolled his eyes, sitting a little less stiffly than before. Most of my dates go a lot smoother than this, usually. Then he grinned a little, and Harry's breath caught in his throat. But at least I was right. You were interesting, Potter. Harry leaned on the table on his left arm, palm under his chin, fingers covering his mouth. He was staring outright and being unapologetic about it. He knew. Yes, Malfoy asked, raising an eyebrow at Harry's boldness. You're rather beautiful. No. One more time. You're rather beautiful, Harry told him conversationally, as though examining a painting at an art gallery. Something sharpened behind Malfoy's usually steady eyes, but he looked down before Harry could question what. Malfoy almost seemed coy. Almost. Are you blushing? Harry's eyebrows rose all the way up. Malfoy smiled bewitchingly, like he knew exactly what he looked like, and without an ounce of shame, he said, "Oh, no!" And without an ounce of shame, like he knew exactly what he looked like. One more time, please. Are you blushing? Harry's eyebrows rose all the way up.
Ugh, my head's itchy. Okay.
What the fuck is chat talking about? I zoned out for like 10 minutes and I come back and y'all were talking about fucking kidnapping something. You can't take my son, okay? He's my son.
Okay.
Who were you kidnapping? Rose all the way up. Malfoy smiled bewitchingly, like he knew exactly what he looked like, and without an ounce of shame said, "What can I say? I enjoy being appreciated." Harry leaned back, his hand slipping off the table. "I wasn't appreciating you," he told him calmly, grabbing his glass of water. I wasn't appreciating you, he told him calmly, grabbing his glass of water. Just your looks. One would normally assume the two are one and the same, Malfoy said dryly, in an unfriendly manner. Harry looked away awkwardly. I don't think they are. I didn't agree to this date because of what you looked like. There was silence for a moment. Is that so? Why did you agree then? Harry looked him dead in the eyes and said honestly, "Oh, let's do that again." Harry looked him dead in the eye and said honestly, "You're quite interesting yourself." Malfoy's eyes widened, his brow wrinkled, and his lips twitched. Harry realized at that moment that this was the first real reaction he saw from Malfoy all night, and the rest was deliberate and possibly fake. Harry frowned. What sort of dates has... Fuck. Harry frowned. What sort of dates has Malfoy had? A type to drawl and stare at him, but show complete disregard to who he was. Harry was away from the dating world for a good few years, but was beginning to remember just how harsh it was sometimes. And Malfoy was photographed weekly, with different company. I like getting to know you. Is that okay? Potter. Malfoy stopped, looking like he was fighting a smile, and then started again. You're doing very well, compared to the other dates I've brought here. Malfoy grinned. Better than McLaggen. Shut up, Malfoy said, as Harry began chuckling. Malfoy drank from his water, and then closed the Muggle newspaper, hiding the magical one inside. Your order, the waiter called, appearing behind Harry with their food. He placed the pizza in front of Harry, and the bowl of ravioli in front of Malfoy, and 3 small containers of sauces between them. Thank you, Harry said, and waited until the waiter smiled in gratitude, and then left them to turn to Malfoy, and said, I don't think he noticed when he was over here last time. Malfoy seemed contemplative, but Harry didn't think it was because of the possibility that they had just revealed magic to a Muggle. Same, but he also didn't lean onto the table to place plates on it, so he would have gotten a closer look and seen moving pictures. He probably thought it was a tablet, Harry thought. Good catch, Harry nodded. The food smelt good, and the pizza looked delicious. They ate a few bites. The pizza is good. Malfoy said non-committally. Speaking of Muggles, did you read their news? Harry sighed, remembering his long week. More like I've lived it. Now witches and wizards are trying... Harry sighed, remembering his long week. More like I've lived it. Now witches and wizards are starting to realize that some of them are registered by the Muggle government as citizens, and are worried they'll be deported. That's insane, Malfoy said, surprised. I would have heard about it already. Harry appreciated that Malfoy didn't comment on those witches and wizards being either Muggle-born or half-bloods, as that's the only reason they'd be on Muggle records. It's being kept quiet to avoid mass panic, but honestly there's more and more of them, and they're calling for the Ministry to intervene and prevent Brexit. It can't. Our Ministry isn't allowed to interfere with the Muggles' government, Malfoy said, like it should be obvious to anyone. Yep. Which is why we won't. Which is why they're pissed and protesting. Which is why I've had a long week. Sounds tough, Malfoy agreed, taking another bite. Will you get deported? He asked jokingly. Harry smiled at him. Bet you would have hoped for that back when we were at school. Malfoy tried not to smirk, and failed. Probably wouldn't have protested too much. I'm sure. Harry rolled his eyes, both glad that they could laugh about it now in a friendly manner, but also still pretty pissed about the memory of their relationship back at Hogwarts. After a few bites, Harry started call... Right. What is my chat talking about? What the fuck is going on? Hogwarts. After a few bites, Harry started... and then stopped. Harry was being careful not to call him Malfoy throughout the day. By the end of the night, if it goes well, they'll likely start naturally calling each other by their first names. I, haven't seen anything about it. Did you decide what you'll do now? Malfoy didn't show that he noticed Harry was being a bit weird, but Harry assumed he did anyways. You mean for work? I did get an offer, but I'm still considering it. Bad conditions. Very. For one thing, I will no longer live in the same area as you. Harry laughed. Shot the offer down at once. Malfoy smiled at him. What about you? When we last spoke on the train, you seemed ready for new beginnings. I may be overstepping, but how happy are you with the auras? Miserable. Harry grinned. I used to love it. I assumed it's because I've grown used to the overall work you do. Fuck. You cannot eat me! I may be overstepping, but how happy are you with the auras? Why are you trying to eat me? What the fuck? Miserable. Harry grinned. I used to love it. I assumed it's because... Fuck, man. Then... I'm tired, apparently. But I slept heaps. Miserable. Harry grinned. I used to love it. I assume it's because I've grown used to the overall work you do there that I've sort of stopped loving it lazily. Guys, I can't actually read words anymore. I'm actually incapable of it. Okay, I'm gonna sit up properly. Wake up! One more time. Miserable. Harry grinned. I used to love it. I assume it's because I've grown used to the overall work you do there that I've sort of stopped loving it least. I'm not eating! I am not being eaten! Miserable. Harry grinned. I used to love it. I assume it's because I've grown used to the overall work you do there that I've sort of stopped loving it lately. Malfoy's expression was light and conversational, but his eyes were sharp like hawks. Then quit, or asked for a transfer and moved to another department for a few years. Call me a Gryffindor, but I hate quitting, Harry admitted, knowing he's considered all that and more himself, but at the end stayed. Malfoy considered him closely, then took a slow, unconcerned bite from his plate. I wouldn't call you a Gryffindor for that, Potter, he said naturally. No. No. It takes bravery to leave something that doesn't make you happy. Harry's mind flashed to Ginny, finally bringing up how unhappy they'd both been, and asking for a divorce. I see, Harry said gently, looking at his food. There was a long moment of silence before Malfoy said, You can't fucking kidnap me. I'm, tired because I'm reading something that's relaxing. I'm not tired because I didn't get enough sleep, okay? If someone was trying to kidnap me, I would know. There was a long moment of silence before Malfoy said, You know what? if we're gonna do this, I would like to suggest an alternative. You can have my son. You cannot eat me, but I will give you my son. You may eat him. Do we have a deal? This is my son and you may have him. You don't have him, he's right here. I'm a cat! I'm a fucking cat! I am not good quality meat! This is ridiculous. This is actually ridiculous. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm canceling this stream. Before Malfoy said... Okay, I'm up! Seriously, you can't eat me, but you may eat my child. You can have my son. Malfoy said. Look, now he's not even a cat. Now you can eat him. Before Malfoy said, I'm sorry, Potter. I was harsh. No, Harry smiled. You were accurate. Ginny was brave. To admit it when Harry refused to. He realizes he regrets not being the one who stepped up. Ginny was brave. She was a Gryffindor. Maybe he can still be one too. Why are you using my full fucking name? You're not taking me, bitch. You're not fucking taking me. You can't even carry my ass, okay? You don't know how much I'll weigh. You can't fucking carry me. Maybe he can still be one too. Maybe I will quit. He looked at Malfoy kindly. I did get an offer some time ago. Maybe I should accept. Malfoy thankfully let Harry steer the conversation forward. If it's good, you should. Well, it's got one downside. Bad conditions. Malfoy grinned encouragingly, and Harry marveled he was being cheered up. Very. I'd have to turn it down right now. They both chuckled, and ate their food pleasantly. After several moments of contemplation, Harry realized there wouldn't be so many jobs at the Wizarding World where you'd need to move for them. Harry looked up at the same time Malfoy did. Was it McGonagall? Did Minerva happen to... They both stared. Slowly, Malfoy smiled, showing teeth. Well, I mean, Harry didn't know what to say. He supposed it was June, so Minerva would sort out her stuff by now, and about 3 of her teachers retire this year. Still, this is one hell of a coincidence. What the fuck is 249 pounds? Speaking of fucking weight measurement that makes sense. One hell of a coincidence. Pounds in kg. You can't lift that much. That's not true. No one can lift that much. This is too much. You can't lift that. Also, if you eat me, what are you gonna do with the leftovers? This is not a sustainable fucking meal. Take my son, he's small, you could portion him off and finish him. It'll be a good main dish. Ridiculous. Still, this is one hell of a coincidence. I was asked to teach potions, Malfoy told him, gesturing for him to speak next. Oh yeah, I was asked to teach words are hard. It's not a cat anymore! Oh yeah, I was asked to teach... Oh yeah? I was asked... Oh yeah, I was asked to teach DADA. I assumed as much. Malfoy grinned. Will you really accept? Will you? Well, there's a clear benefit. Harry felt his cheeks warm. Is there now? Yes. I'd get to daily embarrass my little cousin. Malfoy sniggered into his hand, amused by Harry's glare. Well, as his godfather, it's my duty to protect him from here. Do that again. Well, as his godfather... Well, as his godfather, it's my duty to protect him from you. I guess I've got no choice. How convenient. Harry sighed, but also couldn't stop smiling. They ate, and talked about what they'd teach, if they accepted McGonagall's offer. After a while, Harry released some stiffness from his shoulders, and realized he might be having a lot of fun. Something that's been in short supply lately in his life. I can't wait to insult the weird sisters during a class and watch him hold himself back from yelling at me. Malfoy smirked. You're 2 weeks away from a convention? Shit, man, that's a pretty rough timeline. Do something quite easy, something you could probably closet cosplay, because that will be a little bit easier. Malfoy smirked. Oh yeah. Andromeda said something about Teddy getting on your nerves last time I saw her. I have no idea what you mean, Potter. Harry gave him an unimpressed expression. Even you'd need a Even you'd need a reason to want to bother him at school so much. What happened? Malfoy didn't try and hold up the facade. He shrugged. It's entirely possible that the last time I visited the little brat, he morphed his hair to look like mine, only much longer, and then went on about something along the lines of, I've got better hair than you. Malfoy smiled pleasantly, eyes cold. If you could grab a hold of swimming goggles and a bunch of bandages, you could probably do Aizawa. Eyes cold. Wow. It really bothered you, didn't it? Not at all, he lied. Harry felt bad for what's coming his poor grandson's way. So, who will you be voting for? One more time! So, no, 1 minute. Hold on. So, Who will you be voting for? Harry asked curiously, taking the last bite of his pizza. Malfoy was nearly done with his dish as well. It's between Bones and Granger, isn't it? Absolutely. There's no way McLaggen makes it to the final voting, Harry agreed. I guess I'm on the fence. No point in asking you, I assume. He glanced at Harry. Harry shrugged in admittance. My vote goes to Hermione. I suppose that was obvious. Gryffindor, Harry called him. Harry laughed. No. One more time! Harry laughed at the warm feeling in his gut. When the bill arrived, Harry took it instinctively, glancing at the... When the bill arrived, Harry took it instinctively, glancing at the price and getting out his wallet. Let's split it, Potter. How much? No, it's okay. I want to. It's fine, I can get it. You don't have a job, so... Harry caught the expression on Malfoy's face, and took 6 giant mental steps backwards. Let's split it. Wonderful idea, Malfoy said dryly, but his lips were twitching. When they paid, they both rose, and put on their jackets, and whilst they did, Harry sneaking glances at Malfoy. His form, his eyes, his body, his eyes, the way his slender fingers moved against the fabric of his jacket, his bony shoulders, his eyes. When Malfoy caught those glances, Harry's gut feeling intensified, and instead of looking away, his eyes lingered even longer. After a few panicked heartbeats... Oh, fuck. After a few panicked heartbeats, Harry's...
You're not eating me! Also, I barely have any meat on my body. All you're gonna be able to eat is my ass. And not in a sexual way. Respectfully, there is nothing for you to eat. Yes way, bitch! Hold on. This is ridiculous. I need to calm down.
And instead of looking away, his eyes lingered even longer.
Yeah, this is pre-recorded. I recorded this 4 days ago. That's crazy.
His eyes lingered even longer. After a few panicked heartbeats, Harry cleared his throat, reminding himself that they're at a public place, and this was a first date. Ready? Malfoy nodded charitably, and they began walking towards the exit. Have a good night, the waiter smiled.
I don't have a prosthetic leg.
Have a good night. Have a good night, the waiter smiled, waving as they left. Harry waved back. Their service is pretty good, he complimented, thinking he might return to the coffee shop again. Harry burst out laughing. What? Harry laughed. What? What? Harry blushed, indignant but also turned on. That waiter's been hitting on you all bloody night, you moron. Harry opened his mouth to disagree, and thought about it. Oh. he said. What do you know? Way to miss it, Aura, Harry thought. They walked a bit, Malfoy leading them. Harry's apartment is 5 minutes across the road, but he keeps walking with Malfoy. They reach a small house, plain overall but very nice looking. Not exactly homey, considering Malfoy actually saw the inside of Malfoy Manor. This was hella homey in comparison. This is me. Malfoy stopped, turned back to Harry. He couldn't look... Fuck. He couldn't look away from Silver Eyes. Slowly, he started inching closer. And Malfoy led him. Harry paused, just before his lips touched Malfoy's. Malfoy leaned forward, and it was like Harry was electrified. The next thing he's aware of is raw hunger, as he has his tongue in Malfoy's warm mouth, tasting him sweetly, and shuddering when Malfoy kissed him back. He's really good at it. After a long, nice moment, they pulled apart. Harry is catching his breath, and watches as Malfoy actually licked his lips, and said, Not too shabby, Potter. Why do you still call me Potter? He couldn't help but point out. Disappointed. Old habits, I suppose, he admitted. His cheeks tinted with pink, as though he didn't even pay attention to it. Huh. Fair enough, Draco. Malfoy blinked once, slowly, studying his face carefully. After a moment of some inner battle, he responded with a grin. Harry's eyes fixated on those lips, stretching thin less of pleasantries and more as a wicked warning. I enjoyed tonight. We should do it again, Malfoy said politely. Grin still set free. Harry felt himself smile sweetly, charmed. We'll have to, since you enjoyed it. Harry made sure to say the words enjoyed it as suspicious.
Words are hard.
We'll have to, since you enjoyed it. Harry made sure to say the words enjoyed it as suggestively as possible. Malfoy's eyes crinkled in amusement, and his cheeks almost looked pinker to Harry. Or maybe Harry was just hoping they were. It was hard to be sure in the dark. My. If only the press could hear the great hero of innocence now, Malfoy said teasingly, folding his arms across his chest. Don't, please, Harry begged, hoping Malfoy would believe his discomfort was the thought of him talking to the press about Harry's flirting, and not because, in fact, hearing himself described as the great hero by Malfoy was making a part of his body specifically uncomfortable. Malfoy smiled and leaned closer. He smelled good. So very good. Almost eatable. Owl me. I'm curious to find out how filthy you can be, Harry. Then, the bastard, he turned around, waved his wand to open his front door, walked in, and turned back to face Harry, from the inside of his house. He actually laughed when he saw Harry's face. Full-blown laughter the likes of which Harry has never seen from him before. Anything the matter? Malfoy asked sweetly. You absolute kid. Harry bit through gritted teeth, folding his knees and dropping to the ground. That's rude, he heard Malfoy's amused voice. What did I do? You know what you did? Harry wondered. Ugh, one more time. You know what you did. Harry wondered if he should risk trying to apparate home, or send Hermione a Patronus, asking if you can apparate safely while being hard. Hermione would be at the office, even though it's almost 11 o'clock and probably surrounded by a shit ton of political officers, all of which would likely recognize his voice. Or his stag. And Harry could admit it might stretch beyond the regular duties of their friendship, but he could ask Ron. But Ron might not know, likely. Or he would know, and Harry wouldn't be able to look either his best friends in the eye for the rest of their lives, because there'd be only one reason for Ron to know. You're rather easy to rile up, Harry. Malfoy seemed entirely too delighted by this. Harry glared at him, aware that standing up right now will only give Harry the... Fuck. Harry glared at him.
This story's really cute, but I'm also very tired. Okay, one more time!
Harry glared at him, aware that standing up right now will only give Malfoy the proof he needs to not only suspect, but also know how much he's affected. Harry looked at Malfoy's face, and thought, fuck it. Nah, I'm not easy at all. I'm actually very hard, Draco. Malfoy burst out laughing appreciatively, leaning on his door. I've suspected. Your honesty is refreshing. Glad to hear it. Harry's voice was becoming embarrassingly husky and rough, unable to forget how what Malfoy, not how. Harry's voice was becoming embarrassingly husky and rough, unable to Harry's voice was becoming embarrassingly husky and rough, unable to forget what Malfoy smelt like. For a moment he thought he saw Malfoy jump a little, but dismissed it and focused his magic as best as he can. I had a fun time with you too. Good night, Draco. Harry pulled out his wand. Yeah. Good night. Harry nodded, not paying attention to the small quiver of Malfoy's voice, and apparated to his house, hoping he didn't splint himself. That was Harry and Draco's first date. They had many more during summer, but much fewer during the school year, both having eventually accepted McGonagall's offer. Harry decided to surprise Hermione and Ron about the news of his secret boyfriend at the celebratory Fuck! One more time! That was Harry and Draco's first date. They had many more during summer, but much fewer during the school year, both having eventually accepted McGonagall's offer. Harry decided to surprise Hermione and Ron about the news of who his secret boyfriend was at the celebratory feast, in honor of Hermione's successful re-election as Minister for Magic. Whilst Ron was busy Whilst Ron was busy spluttering, Harry noticed a familiar face across the room watching him. He and Ginny exchanged looks. He nodded, holding Luna's... not her. He nodded. She nodded, holding Luna's hand. And Harry nodded back, smiling at Draco. He should really thank her for having been a Gryffindor.
Ooh. We finished.
That's all I had scheduled for today, to be honest, guys. But I've got a little bit of time. What to do? What to do? What am I bad at? What the fuck? Why am I being called father in Hindi? What's going on? Man, I can just take a nap instead of working, guys. Alright, I'm gonna end here. Thank you guys for joining my very short stream. I've been going above and beyond for my streams recently, but I'm very lazy, so I'm gonna take a nap. I don't want to be designated Indian father. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining my stream. I'm gonna end it. Goodbye.